Hi, welcome to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're here in MetroEast Community Media, and I'm now going to be speaking with the Metropolitan Family Service representatives here. Heather Height, you're the site manager for Metropolitan Family Service Community Schools. And then Chris Warren, the program quality coordinator, and with the same organization. So thanks for being here, both of you.
We're excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Chris, how long have you been with the?
That's coming on my 4th year with MFS.
Yeah. So, did you start out as a program quality coordinator?
I started out as a site manager in a role like Heather, and I was working at Glenfair Elementary, which is a high poverty school in the Reynolds district. And my work there was really trying to transform that school into a real community center that was offering a broad range of social services that were integrated into the existing school.
It's kind of a big challenge.
Yeah.
That's a big undertaking.
They are, yeah.
So maybe you can give me a little background on what Metropolitan Family Service does. I know you kind of have a whole range of things that you do, but give me an overview.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do have a wide range of services, but our work really comes down to helping folks move beyond the limitations of poverty, inequity, and social isolation. And right now, we're focused primarily on 3 real key areas. The first is early childhood development and youth success. The second is promoting community health, and the third is advancing economic well-being in our community.
And really big.
It's a big undertaking.
That's a lot for one organization. But I imagine you have partners in the community, like other nonprofits you work with, or business partners, or do you do this all on your own?
Yeah, we have a lot of great partners, and a lot of our mission right now is about moving more towards collective impact. So instead of saying, hey, you try this, you try this, you try this, and putting out a whole host of programs in the community, asking more about how can we take the resources that exist and align them more effectively.
That's perfect. Yeah, and quit fighting for the same dollars. See if you can align yourself, so maybe that grant will work for both of you.
Right.
And because I don't know how any nonprofit can make it anymore without working with another one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and how can our community make progress if everybody's going in a different direction?
Yeah. So do you have one of those areas that you work on more than the others?
Yeah, so I work in our community schools, and certainly youth success is a big part of that, but there's also a lot of health and wellness and economic well-being that we're advancing through these community schools.
Okay.
So I guess the community school model is saying, look at all these services there in Portland. There's tons of them. There's public programs, there's nonprofits, there's corporations that want to contribute. How can we take all these existing services and make them more accessible for folks by putting them into schools so that families have everything they need under one roof to be successful, so that our schools are also our food pantries and our community gardens and our adult job training and our English language learning centers, and really become an anchor for sort of well-being on a number of fronts, not just impacting the youth, but impacting the whole community around it.
Well, and certainly if you impact the youth, it's going to impact their families, and then it just kind of ripples out from there. So Heather, your specific job is site manager. What does that entail?
So I'm the site manager for Dexter McCarty Middle School here in Gresham. And so what I do on a daily basis is I help get classes assigned to anyone after school at Dexter McCarty. So what we like to do is partner with local people, like in the school, but also businesses, and then they can come in and we provide really good quality classes after school. We get dinner fed to them on a weekly basis, 4 days a week, and then they get a free ride home with our activity buses. So
how great is that?
Yeah.
Well, so the kids that go to school there, I know that a lot of the schools in the area have a very high rate of poverty, and so a lot of those kids probably have parents that are working, and maybe that's where the kids need to be after school because they don't want to go home to an empty house. So, but then in addition to that, don't you also provide like homework help and that kind of thing for the kids if they need that? Or is that part of it?
Absolutely. We have what we call Homework Academy at Dexter McCarty, and during our activity time from 4 to 5:20, we have teachers that stay after school. So there's 2 or 3 teachers assigned to each day that we provide programming, and they're there to offer whatever support that's needed. So it's whether it's a computer to type with because they don't have a computer at home to finish a project, or it's help with their math. They're confused about how to write this paragraph, so they're there to just help them with whatever it is during their school day that they aren't able to get help with after school.
And then also there's activities.
Yes.
And that ranges from sports to art to... Tell me what kind of things you do at Dexter McCarty.
Yeah, at our winter session that we are having right now, we've got an open gym time, we've got arts offered every day. We're doing like Minecraft, so we focus a lot on our STEM grant that we've received from 21st Century. Science, technology, engineering, and math. Yep. So we have a robotics team at Dexter McCarty that just competed last, what was that, December, I believe. And so then we also have a lowriders football training as well that Keenan and Kevin Lowe are providing to kids after school, where they train with football stuff. And we also right now have a wrestling team that's wrestling other middle schools throughout Gresham and East County as well, and they get to wrestle in home meets and
that's, you know, I know that a lot of the sports have been taken out, so, you know, having the football there, I know it's great. I've been up there, you know, with them, and I saw the wrestlers, and they have a very organized program with a lot of kids out for the wrestling team. I was kind of impressed. Yeah. You know, they have meets coming up.
They do, yeah. They just did their first home meet last night. They have another home meet tomorrow. We have one the 25th, and then our last home meet will be March 3rd.
If people want to go to those, they could just go to the Dexter McCarty website?
Yep, they have all the lists of the home meets on the website there at Dexter McCarty.
Cool. That's great. That's great. I think it's really sad when those extracurricular things get cut out of the schools. So how do you feel like you've impacted the kids? I mean, can you give me examples of kids that you know have really been helped because of what Metropolitan Family Service does?
Well, I can speak specifically to the Dexter McCarty kids that we've worked with. Our last session, we had a group called Project ELF, and there were about 15 to 20 kids that started out, and at the end we had about 15, and what those kids got to do were they performed volunteer service acts throughout the weeks that we had, and we had 2 local churches donate about $1,400 to our Sun program specifically for these 15 kids, so that at the end of our programming right before Christmas, they got to go shopping for their families, and through really good homework attendance at the Homework Academy, as well as their volunteer service hours, they were able to shop for their family members. And I know that most of the kids probably weren't able to do that previous years, but because of this one program, a lot of families were able to have a great Christmas. So.
And how great for the kids to be able to do the shopping, for, you know, because a lot of times kids don't have the money to do any shopping, so, you know, they might make something, which is always from the heart and loved, but that must have given them a really good feeling to be able to do that.
Sure.
Yeah. How about you, Chris? What
I think about a lot of the families that were at Glen Fair who just told us how welcome they felt in the school because of the sort of wide range of programs that we had there. There was families that would come in every week to participate in the food pantry, where we distribute food that was nearing expiration from local grocery stores, as well as canned and dried foods. Yeah, as well as you know, still great food. And it was a mechanism to get them into the school and to get them support. But then they felt like, hey, this school cares about me on another level. And when they were in the school, they'd get information about an event that was coming up. They'd get information about another resource. We'd try to get them involved in our community engagement team. And so really we'd see parents who sort of used to see the school as this is a place where I send my kid, to a place where this is where not only can I help, like, can I get help when I need it, but I can have voice and I can have advocacy, and there's somebody here who's going to help me channel my ideas into the school. And sort of seeing those families say, this is our school, not the school where my kid goes.
This is our community.
This is our community. And this is our community school.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
It is. Yeah, it really is. So you talked about kids needing or getting lunch or dinner after school. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of kids that don't have enough. I know I helped do a football camp a couple of years ago, and during the summertime, and we just, instead of asking for money, we said bring some cans of food for the Oregon Food Bank. And one of the kids said, well, why are we doing this? I said, because there's people in this neighborhood that don't, kids don't have enough to eat. And he goes, no. I said, oh yeah, these are going to be kids probably sitting next to you in your first period that don't, don't have enough to eat. So how are you able to feed these kids for them? Is that something Metropolitan Family Service provides, or is that other community members that come and provide that food?
A lot of it is through partnerships. So one of our partnerships is with the Oregon Food Bank, and so the Oregon Food Bank is on that same mission as us, of really trying to make sure that people have the food they need to be successful in school as well as at home. And so we'll bring a food pantry where we'll take over a classroom in a school, and we'll bring in 1,000 pounds of food a week from the Oregon Food Bank, food that they've sort of procured, and we'll get that out to families. Urban Gleaners is another one of our partners in that, and they're ones that connect with New Seasons and Whole Foods and grocery stores all over Portland, and are able to get their excess food into the schools.
Yeah, it's so great to do that kind of stuff.
It is.
Drives me nuts when people throw that stuff away because that's somebody's dinner.
Right.
And I guess it's exciting for us because there are so many groups like that that are saying, hey, we've got more to give, but we need somebody on the ground to coordinate it.
Right.
We need somebody who's got the relationships and the infrastructure to help us deliver these services more effectively.
Right. We have some pictures right there. Tell me what I'm looking at here. Is this from part of the after-school program, you think?
Yeah, this is probably part of the extended day program, and we really try to make the extended day program about opportunities for kids to do things they might not get to do in their regular day.
Like paint their hands blue.
Like paint their hands blue.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So this is maybe a typical dinner?
A typical dinner, yeah. We serve supper at all 26 of our sites, and then these sites also serve meals all through the summer when the school is closed, because we do know that a lot of
What a huge
families
help
rely
that
on-
is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is it at the local park or something like that, or is it up at the school?
Yeah, we'll often do it at the school, and a lot of our schools are connected to local parks, and so we'll have rec activities going out in the park, and sometimes we'll bring a barbecue out, and sometimes we'll try to make it as fun as we can.
On hall pass.
Yeah, this student is from one of our service learning classes. So he's a student who's in a class that's looking at ways to give back, and one of their projects was designing new hall passes for the school and taking pictures of kids walking in halls the way that the school expects them to, and sort of making that message from the kids.
MetroEast did a video with them about how to behave in the school. Yeah, it was really good.
This one's from the Glen Fair Community Garden, and you can see some of the garden behind it, but this is a place where we host the summer meals, but it's also sort of a place where the community grows food and gathers for all sorts of events.
I love it. Pretty diverse community at the schools here in the Gresham area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very diverse.
That must make it difficult sometimes when a lot of the families, maybe the parents don't speak English or it's a second language. And
yeah, Glen Fair, we had 26 different languages spoken in our school, and 45% of our students didn't speak English as a first language.
Wow. To me, that's a huge obstacle to overcome. You know.
It is, but it's also sort of a huge opportunity.
It is. I agree, and I didn't mean to make it sound like it was totally negative, because I mean that's something you can celebrate, all those different cultures, and it's a really cool thing. But to get the involvement from people and let them understand that they are welcome and that
Yeah, and even more than welcome, that they're wanted.
Yeah.
Their diversity brings something to the school. Our Gresham High School, for example, hosts a multicultural night every year where it's an 800-person event at the school where they bring together different folks from different cultures who are celebrating and showing off pieces of their heritage and getting to learn from each other.
Great? On next week's show, I'll be interviewing somebody from Centennial High School. They have a multicultural night with their Mecha Club.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and same thing. Different cultures bringing together, showing what they have. Showing off their good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So before we close here, give me some last words. You need volunteers. What can you tell me that our viewers might not know?
Yeah, we'd love volunteers. We'd love for folks to get involved in this work. If you check out metfamily.org, and that's our website, and if you go to get involved, there'll be opportunities to donate, opportunities to attend events, opportunities to help with one-time holiday drives, or really ingrain yourself in the school, and you'll see probably 10 or 12 different volunteer opportunities listed there and different contacts for each one, and we'd love for you to join our effort.
Which is great, because you got one day, or you got a few weeks, or a whole year. You can find something to do.
We'll take them.
Good. Thank you both so much for being here tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching Community Hotline. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and if you have some volunteer time you want to donate, there's a place that you can do it. I'm Monica Weitzel. We'll see you here next week.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.
Have you ever wanted to create a TV show of your own? Come check out the basic editing class at MetroEast. Our trainers will give you the skills you need to flex your creative muscles. Using our state-of-the-art IMAX and Final Cut Pro 10, you can work with your own videos, add graphics and music, and even drop in cool special effects like green screen and slow motion. The best part? No experience is required. All ages and skill levels are welcome. Find out more on our website at metroeast.org.
My favorite thing about community media is how people find their voice and tell their story.
It's the message of, by, and for a community.
We're a gathering place because it gets people of all sorts of different backgrounds underneath one roof.
It's art, it's technology.
A snapshot of our community.
Going live in 3, 2, 1.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 88. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs of autism.